Welcome to the Clearing the Air podcast with D and Q.
D.
And I'm Q. Yo, man, I'm ecstatic about this episode here. We got our brothers from Urban Digital Assets. Wait a minute. Did I say that right, fellas?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Well, listen, normally we do the talking. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to start off by letting y'all introduce yourselves to us.
All right, Ray Ruski, you have the flow.
Right on. Like you said, Ray Ruski, Urban Digital Assets. We've been a part of Urban Digital Assets since the beginning. King put the group out together, and me and him basically forged groups that we had of just small communities of people that we were trying to help. Basically blended that together and created what today is, almost 4,000 organic members, 200 Discord members plus 200 plus Discord members. So it's been real organic growth for us. Heavily focused for me within the group, or my role in the group is just, locating projects that haven't really came to the mainstream yet. Which pretty much allows us to get early entry points, accumulate a lot of the asset, and then do what we like to say, ride the wave into, pretty sizable profits. I do a lot of stuff like that, stuff with the charts. That's pretty much a little of my background with UDA and kind of my role within the team.
Word, I like that UDA. Okay. So are y'all okay with us kind of referring to it in that way moving forward?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
All right, bet. And just everybody, just so you clear, this episode tonight is going to be about investing. This is actually our part 2. So again, let me shut up and let our other brother talk to us for a minute.
Appreciate you. Brian King, I go by King Sheen, or you call me by my last name King. Urban Digital Assets, we started about like a year and a half ago with just trying to educate people about the digital asset space. I'll go into my background a little bit later, but I've been in the space for a while, for almost like 13 years, 12 years. And, just to see everything transpire, people still calling it a scam after that long. And, you don't see anybody like us involved in it like that, so I had the mental wherewithal to be like, this is getting serious right now. So I made a Facebook group, Urban Digital Assets, UDA. And like Ray Ruski said, it's just to educate people about the space, just put them on like the, information and resources. And, throughout my life journey, go through that later, people, after the pandemic happened, people remembered what I was preaching about. And, the group just grew like organically out of nowhere, and it's still growing. And, now we're like a source of like trusted information because we put in the work, and we've been giving calls way before people knew what crypto or what they're talking about, right? So we have like a lot of like track records. So it's been a lot of like, planting seeds, like a Chinese bamboo, I say, it's a Chinese bamboo thing. Like you plant a seed and it doesn't grow immediately, but it sprouts up like, 20 feet in the air just because of the seeds that you've been planting. So, it's been a pretty dope experience.
Right. That's dope. Just to give our peoples a little reason why we brought y'all on. Well, first of all, y'all are our first guests ever on the podcast, man. And it was something that was necessary. We did our first investing podcast, and we did it on a very superficial, shallow, elementary level, because that's kind of where we are. We learning, you know what I'm saying? We're in that part of our lives now where we're willing to take more risks and things like that. And so I had a good friend of mine who was working with y'all, and she referred us to y'all, and we decided to go with it, man. And that's what it is. So we had to bring y'all on here, man. Again, the point you made, King, there isn't too many people that look like y'all, look like us, and we thought that was one of the things that's most important and why we want to have y'all on, man. And so I'm excited. I say we get it started, jump right to it, man. I want a little background about y'all, how you got into the game, how long you been in the game, what y'all doing now. You know, just let our people know who y'all are. King, Brewski, either one of y'all can go.
I'll jump in. So yeah, I mean, pretty much got my start. I guess the journey really started for me after college, going to play pro ball for my first year. I went to, you know, I did the Vegas summer leagues and all of that stuff, and I got invited to a few different tour teams. And the one that was, and I pretty much just went with the one that was the soonest or the earliest team, which was going to London or throughout the UK. So I started out there and got into it was just a really weird situation to where I ended up being essentially homeless. The team that I was supposed to sign with, there was just a bunch of weird things going on between I guess my manager or my rep that I was referred to by the person who put together the tour, and it was just like a lot of weird things, orchestrated things. So that led to me being homeless and kind of stranded in the UK. And I got to the point where I was going to take a flight home on credit and just pay it off when I got home. And I ended up staying out there, just kind of like running. I was just running through the neighborhood and just staying in shape, just going to the park and like doing, you know, working out on the monkey bars, all types of stuff, whatever I could do. And I ended up getting a job in Germany to go and play. So I went and did that and pretty much used the money that I made from playing in Germany to basically send myself home. And get signed, and I signed up for like Uber and all type of stuff while I was still in Germany. Like I knew I was done hooping. I was like, man, this is too much goofy stuff I had to deal with. I need to get home. I need to just start running, you know, get into the bag. And so the first 6 months when I was back in the States, I was working 3 jobs, driving Uber, like literally just trying to spend anywhere between 12 and 18 hours a day working, just trying to build a capital. And I got to the point where I saved up like 20,000, and I went and grabbed my first property in Chicago, and I paid like 12,000 for it. It was a foreclosure, and put about another 8 to 10 into it. And then did a refinance on that for like 100,000. And after that, went and bought another house and got that renovated, put a tenant in it. And then I was gonna do another house and just focus on the real estate. But then one of my friends that I had came in contact with, well, this was on the back end of it. I had been buying some Bitcoin. I've been seeing it on the news and stuff. It was like Bitcoin was like 12,000 at the time, and it was riding up to the previous all-time high, which is like 20,000. And I ended up getting burned because the volatility of it went up like 1,000 or 2, but then it dropped like 4,000. So I panicked and I sold the Bitcoin. It was worth half the value of what I put into it. And I was just, you know, searching the internet and stuff. One main thing that popped out to me was a video that Nipsey Hussle did when he was in Amsterdam, and he was talking about crypto, and he was talking, and one thing that really stuck with me in that video, he said that he invested into one of these companies at like 1/10 of a penny. And then when he showed his portfolio, it was like the coin was worth like 5 cents at the time. And he was like, I made, you know, $6 million or something. It was like insane to me. And I'm like, wait, hold, like, it was like a mic drop moment for me. And then also at the same time, what correlated with that, one of my friends had put me on with XRP. And I pretty much at that point, I just transitioned from the whole Bitcoin mindset. And it just sparked me to keep going down the path of, I need to find the next low cap gem, is what I call them, or what we refer to them as. need to find the next low cap project that's gonna, 100,000x. And in this past 9 months, I know for myself, I've had at least between 5 and 8 projects do at least 200,000% return. So that's like, that was pretty much the start for me, what kind of got me sparked into the crypto and everything. And I really got my start in real estate, but soon realized that it would be a lot more lucrative to be in crypto. So I'm actually current day trying to transition out of real estate, selling my properties in Chicago and going fully digital, which is the whole reason for my obsession with the metaverse and trying to get virtual land, because I would like to be able to continue to be, digital nomad, move around freely and take all my assets everywhere I go, because it's a pain trying to deal with having, properties 4,000 miles away and not really a property management team and all of that stuff. So,
because you're in the UK. You're in the UK. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just so y'all know, he's in the UK right now. He's doing this for us super early. It's late at night, actually, early in the morning. So we appreciate you, my brother. Mr. King, you up next, sir.
All right, yeah. So my journey started back around the 2008 financial crisis. That's when my journey with Bitcoin and digital assets started. About my background.
In 2008, you was on crypto?
Yeah, because at that time you got to think like, I graduated high school in 2010, so I'm 30. Okay. And back in that time, we had LimeWire, the file sharing, all that. Cell phones was just like damn near new. You could take SIM cards out and put them into other phones. You still got your data and like your music. So I was doing all that stuff on the computer, and I was an athlete as well. Like that's how I know Ray, because the group of guys that I grew up with and played sports with, they play with Ray. So, Ray was like, one of the guys too, because, it's an athlete thing. So, we always kept in touch, here and there. I saw him when he went to go hoop when he was in college. Like I'm watching him hoop in college. Like our college was, a couple miles away. So, I'm keeping in touch with everybody still. So I'm looking at Bitcoin. 2008 financial crisis happened. Banks, went under, businesses went down because they tried to acquire businesses, things like that. And, I just had to mental wherewithal about that. The reason why, though, is because I have family that lives overseas. So I have a dad that lives in Finland. Shout out to the UK people, where you at. So, he would send me like, rupees, marks, all type of things like foreign currencies. And he would send me postcards like, "Hey son, I'm in Egypt," or "Hey, I'm in Dubai." Like, so my mind was already open to possibilities at a young age. Some kids that look like us, they don't have that, type of aspiration, but I already was on it at a young age. So I used to question money. Like, why does their currency look like different than ours? Why is the exchange rate different? Why do I have to wait 3 to 5 business days to get money from my dad that's overseas, but it's our money? Why do I got to stand in line and, somebody at the front desk got an attitude because she's working a job that's giving me money? So like all that didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you messing with money. Like, aren't you happy that you're working at a job that's messing with money? So I'm moving forward. I'm in college, playing sports, playing football. I was blessed enough to have an opportunity to, have preseason activity workouts with the Chicago Bears. And at that time I had Bitcoin because I was still involved in it. I get like a little refund, stipend, like checks or whatever, and invest a little bit and then have some money to do whatever. So, I'll come back home and have an opportunity. I'm training at a gym called EFT in Chicago. And, I'm training and I got my Bitcoin. I see like a Bitcoin ATM like down the street from my house. So I'm like, hold on, like, it's a Bitcoin ATM. I just left high school. Now you're telling me like it's a whole Bitcoin ATM. I'm about to cash out. So
that's crazy.
I grabbed my QR code. I had on a paper QR code. This is where I messed up. Had on a paper QR code. I go up to the gas station, scan it, unreadable. I'm like, damn. All right, I'm about to go home and I'm about to grab a Sharpie and sketch it in. It's a QR code. I come back, unreadable. I'm like, damn. Like, this didn't work out. And then, football didn't work out the way I wanted it to either. So now I was back at square zero. So I'm like, man, like I set myself up, in a good situation. I invested at a young age, and I was able to pursue my dreams. Like if my dreams didn't work out, I still had something to fall back on.
Right.
I still had school to fall back on too as well. So it was like I got knocked down like to the third level, which was where I didn't want to be. But
Right.
like what Ray said, I had a mic drop moment, like in the gas station. I can remember vividly. Like I was like standing there, like next to the row of chips and pops, next to the Bitcoin ATM. I'm like, I'm gonna have my round two, and I'm not gonna miss it. Because it's Bitcoin is just one thing. Like if one thing doesn't rule everything forever. Like we had PlayStation 1s, it's PlayStation 5 now.
Right.
So
Right.
I had that mindset, and across my journey throughout life, I would tell people about Bitcoin and Ethereum or crypto, and we just have discussions about it. So through my journey, I'm telling people about it, kind of like, you know, giving the gospel, so to speak. And I'm back home, I'm coaching kids and stuff like that. In Illinois, and I'm from Chicagoland area, so I'm helping kids out as well too. So I'm just spreading word and stuff like that. And you know, I see Ray Ruski on Facebook or Instagram or something. I don't know what it was, but I'm like, yo, like he was posting about XRP. I'm like, yo, this the one right here. Like, this is it. Like I've been looking for this thing. Like it wasn't these, it was this. So you know, that's how we, you know, I made the group, and then everything just started like just snowballing organically from there. And you know, everything just blew up. And now like I'm in school at Northwestern, actually like in financial technology, actually the person that's coding.
Okay.
That. So I'm not just speculatively like investing or trying to help people. Is behind the scenes stuff that people don't otherwise wouldn't care about. It's more than, you know, just throwing your ducats in.
Bro, let me ask you about that, because I've never heard anybody talk about like investing in that way. Like you said, the back end side. So can you like D, is it good we asked this? Like,
bro, we free flowing, bro.
Talk all right, so tell me about that, man, because I've never heard of that, like the back end side of crypto or investing. Like, talk to us about that. What do you mean when you say that?
Yeah, so man, I could go deep about like, so the whole thing about crypto, like you have to ask yourself, like, what is money? Right. So people don't know what money is. They'll say it's a dollar bill, but it's really not, because people in other countries have like the yen, you know, rupees and Great British pound. So what is money? Money is a store of value.
Yeah.
That's one. A unit of account, a medium of exchange, and fourth is a social construct. So there are four things, a mental aspect to it as well. So once you understand what actually money is, then you know you can also like try to grasp crypto, because crypto is a store of value, Bitcoin. People just throw it in there and they think the price is going to go up, and it's like this with gold. A unit of account, that means you can fractionalize the shares of whatever you have. So not a lot of, I don't have a full Bitcoin, right? I mean, I did back in the day, it had a lot of them, but you can get fractionalized Bitcoins, right? Now, a unit of account, a medium exchange is peer-to-peer. So you can send crypto back and forth, right?
Right.
So now when we're talking about crypto, like your bank account gets hacked. I'm gonna keep it simple. Like your banks get hacked all the time. So, all right, when your banks gets hacked, it's because it's a centralized server. That server is just for Bank of America. Right. So it's easy to hack Bank of America because you know where it's at. Right. So when people are hacking like America's infrastructure, it's because it hasn't been updated. So you got to think like this system hasn't been updated since probably the 1930s. And we have, you know, technology. I'm a 90s baby. I grew up with the Pokemons and Game Boys.
Right.
So, you know, now like money is digital. We got Cash App and Zelle.
For sure.
But you can't send Zelle to Cash App, and you can't send Cash App to another payment platform.
Right.
So there is
like PayPal or whatever.
Exactly. So there's an interoperable like paywall or barrier that you can't like get across, right? And the whole thing about crypto is to break down the barriers and help and onboard the world to bank the unbanked. Like if you don't have a bank account, you basically become a third world citizen, right? And you get locked out. And that means now you cannot participate in the free market and be able to invest in the stock market or crypto because you don't have a bank account.
Okay. Is that the answer you was looking for, my brother?
I look, it's so intense.
I know. And then, but how he ended the joint, like just breaking it down in terms like, oh yeah. So
I like that.
yeah, so we know that you guys got other members on the team. Shout out to Coach and Jimmy. And we want to, I want y'all to talk about how, what role each of y'all play on the team. You know what I mean? And so, just throw it out there, like say I do this and this, blah blah blah, because y'all all in different places, which is super dope. I know Ryan King, you in Northwestern in Chicago right now. We already said Ray's in the UK. I believe one of y'all's in Mississippi, I believe.
Yeah, that's Coach.
Yeah, Coach is in Mississippi.
You got Jimmy's northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Okay. So Jimmy's not too far from you, King.
No, not at all.
Okay. So yeah, y'all just talk about what each of y'all's role is on y'all team.
Well, I would say so. Burkett is like, I would say Burkett is like the
that's Coach Burkett, right?
Coach Burkett. That's Coach, right?
Chef Burkett, however you want to refer to it. Man, he made something out of nothing. I mean, the dude is like, he's like the glue for the group.
Okay.
He's the driving force of the group. And I would say he's like he's like sales, marketing, customer service, development, like figuring out how to like improvise, just everything that you could possibly do. He's like got a hand in something, no matter what's going on. So he's just like, I would say he's like the Swiss Army knife for the group. Literally can do whatever you need him to do. He'll be able to be available, dropping a hat for anybody. And then Jimmy, super heavy into the mindset type guy. Works on, is a strong hand in keeping market psychology in positive levels for the entire group. He's always like a market psychology check for people, blood in the streets. And when we say blood in the streets, the market is really red down in the negatives, and he's providing perspective for people, to understand that this isn't something you need to be afraid of. Like, lean into this. This is the opportunity zone.
That's important. That's important.
It is. And, a lot of times we even lean on them for the same type of thing. Like, I remember a major thing that I was having issues with. I leaned on King for this too, with Dogecoin. Dogecoin, when it was going parabolic, it was smashing all type of everything that I had researched for the past 4 years. It completely went against it. Market trends, everything that I knew about charting, like it just completely destroyed all logic that I had of crypto. And I was like, am I going crazy? Like, I'm asking them, like, is there something I'm not seeing? Like, I had no idea why it was doing what it was doing. And it was really bothering me, but they both were like, they just got laughed that stuff off sometimes. Like, people were in the comments for a while, and it was just really volatile. But, they kept me level-headed, and now we laugh about it because we were right, per usual.
Right, and that's important.
He said per usual.
That's important. So King, you let us know. He kind of touched on it, but what you bring to it, and then Ray, you ain't tell us your role in it. So I don't know, King, you want to do that for Ray, or Ray, you want to do that on your own?
Man, I just like to jump into the office. I'm constantly trying to find new stuff, and I think that's really my focus is just spent on finding new projects that haven't really came to anyone's attention. I got a whole system of running it through all types of checks and balances, and then I'm usually the test dummy as well on a lot of the projects or a lot of the new functions or whatever it is that I might be introducing. I usually try it myself for a few days to a week before I even mention it, and then you know, and I get burned like that sometimes. I lose money doing it, but it's always for the greater good of the whole group. So I never mind. But yeah, that's pretty much my focus is doing that. And, you know, just trying to make sure we could all eat as much as possible.
Right. All right, King, come on.
King look like he got a technical difficulty.
Oh, he
right
got
now.
a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll come back to King. Ray. Now remember, you know, I'm very new to all this, and as much as we've been talking, I've been hearing crypto and Bitcoin. I haven't heard the word stocks yet. So do y'all? Because I think when most people hear the word invest, they may think stocks.
Right.
So, and maybe that's not even the case anymore. I don't know, but y'all haven't said stocks yet. So, what do y'all invest in stock? Are y'all strictly?
I mean, I'm sure you'll find people in the group that hold a little bit of stocks, like traditional stocks. But a majority of our organic or our VIP members, especially, I don't think any of them hold any stocks. Just because, you know, the traditional market, you're getting gains of, you know, 5 to 12%, and that's considered like an amazing year. But crypto, we got people that are following us that have seen, you know, 100,000% gains, and it just made you look at stocks and you're like, why? For what?
Right.
So I can make 5%. I can make 5% staking. I don't have to do anything. I can just put my XRP on my Nexo account and let it stake, and it literally will just sit there. I'm not trading. I'm not having to do anything, and I'm just making 5% every day. And so I think we all get into that mindset of, you know, your money just doesn't go as far in the traditional market as it does in crypto. And I think it has a lot to do with it just being so early and still such a new asset class.
Right. And see, that's what we need. We need somebody just to break it down like that. You just like, for why? For what? Like, it just,
I gotta be over here stressed out over 5% when I could just go to crypto and, you know, I might get lucky and see 500% in 1 week and be done for the year. So why?
Right. Quan, you got anything, brother?
It's crazy because I have I got a son who's like really into it. And he even got my wife, like, I couldn't even get her to get into it, but because he's so pumped about talking about it, and I'm just encouraged just by hearing like a group of brothers that have come together essentially for the greater good, you know. And I'm like, he's kind of looking to do that same thing. So like, this really kind of hits me a little closer to home because, you know, I'm like, man, and he talks about, like, I mean, I have an account with Coinbase, you know, he got my wife to sign up. He was real big on the Shiba Inu, you know. But another thing, just looking at what King was talking about, you know, like the back end of things, like I had never heard of that and even going to school for it. So like, even hearing that, like, I'm taking it like, this is value. And this is why we created this platform, because, you know, we wanted men to be able to, like, where do we go? Like, you know, we're expected to know everything. How do you know things that have never been put at your table? You know, if it's a food that you've never tried, like, this is an analogy, but you know, I come from the hood, and, you know, my dad kinda, you know, he's a doctor. And so when I lived with my mom, I didn't eat sushi. I didn't even know what that was. And my dad put me on like, hey, try this, son. You know, so kind of like King, my dad's in different parts of the earth, the world, or whatever's the case. And you like, so like, my dad kind of introduced travel to me, like how his dad introduced this stuff. So it was like, wow. So now you get an appetite for certain things. And so just hearing it, like, and I think that's what we want to do, is we want to create an appetite for ourselves, but for men, so that you can, you know, leave a legacy in some sort. I think my question, when you talk about the crypto, that I think probably most people will want to understand is, all right, so for yourself, you live in the UK. When we're talking about taxes and things like that, like, are you pulling the money out to use to live? If you do, like, are you pulling out a certain amount and not going over? Like how are you managing? And not to be nosy, but just kind of get a practical sense of what you do.
Bro.
How do you talk to us?
No problem. Yeah. I mean, honestly, so there's certain like loopholes around taxable implications or taxable events. And one of the main things is spending crypto. There's no taxable event to the peer or the individual spending the crypto. And from my understanding, the current tax structure is saying that not the consumer, but the actual marketplace where that's accepting crypto as the payment, they're being held responsible for tax implications. But there's also, we have a bunch of crypto debit cards that we use. We have XRP cards, crypto.com cards. I mean, it's BlockFi. There's so many different cards that you could spend USDC and gain crypto back as rewards, and then turn around after earning rewards for a month. You could turn around and use those same rewards and go buy groceries or go whatever it is you want to do. So that's kind of what we teach in our group, is just like basically life hacking with crypto. A lot of times, this is the biggest thing for me. I know going to get gas, going to do anything, you're always going to spend money, right?
Right.
So why not get crypto in return for it as cash back? And it'll be like 2 or 3% of the transaction total, or the value of the transaction, but it's an appreciating asset that you're receiving back. Prime example, I sold, so VeChain is one of the cryptos that I'm pretty big on. A few months ago now, it had pumped up from less than 1 penny to 28 cents. And I skimmed some of the profits. Yeah, it was like 150,000% gains, crazy. And I skimmed some of the profits and took that over to my crypto.com, and I just spent VeChain, and I got myself winter tires for my Beamer. And I got 400 crypto.com coins in return for that at like 13 or 14 cents per coin. And as you know, crypto.com then appreciated to 70, 80 cents. So that money that I got in return for my tires, I could take that and go on vacation with.
Right.
So this is
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, this is like the everyday type of stuff we pretty much do. Groceries, like anything you're gonna spend your money on, that's what we do, and we get crypto back for it all the time.
So it's kind of like, from what I'm getting, it's kind of like a rewards program. How you would get like points on using a credit card, or using miles for like a airline or something.
Yep.
Okay. I had a question. How, because what y'all the business that y'all in and how y'all operate, especially with your daily lives, like, talk to us how you were affected during the pandemic. Like, did you see profits? Was it like a scary situation like it was for most of the world, or because like the average person might have to leave their house at 9 in the morning, go to work, drop the kids off, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Was you under that same kind of pressure that a lot of people were?
It was a weird time for me, because I was already in the middle of transitioning to playing over here, and it was like in between, and that was the thing. The season had just stopped, and it was kind of weird timing, because we were on like a 15-game winning streak. Like, wow. we were like a month away from like just playing for the championship and like finalizing it. And they just said they called that at the end of the season. They say, you guys are you win the league. And it was just, it was like an empty feeling, because it's like, we got like 8 games left. We didn't really win. They just stopped the season now.
Right.
So I was kind of in that transition of like, should I start working, and then it was also like, and it was crazy, because my wife was 8 months pregnant when the world pretty much shut down. So we have all these like looming factors over our head. And at this time, I'm about 3 years into investing in crypto. Up until this point, I was investing half of my paycheck every month in crypto. So I watched my account go from, $20,000-$30,000 to like $8,000 when the market crashed. Which might have been one of the scariest moments in my life.
Right.
That was like my life savings.
Right.
And I couldn't even talk about it to my wife because it was like, how do you even bring that up?
Right.
I just lost all my money.
Right.
So
right.
It was a mixture of that plus an uncertainty of any like future employment. And my properties in Chicago, I didn't have tenants in them. Couldn't get any tenants in. It was just so many factors of like no income coming in.
Right.
And I seen an opportunity though. The market crashed. I watched the total market cap for crypto drop from, it was like 350 or 400 million at the time, which now is still absolutely nothing because it's like a $2 trillion market now. But at the time it was like $300 or $400 million market cap, and it dropped to like 80 million. And it was just like, is crypto really about to go to zero? Like it was, you've heard it before,
right?
But it was like, man, it really might go to zero. But I gritted my teeth and I maxed out my credit card and bought as much XRP as I could possibly afford at 15 cents. And, that I think it was like $6,000 or $7,000 that turned into like $100,000. So it was very risky. The timing, everything about it was just like, it was a lot of uncertainty, in the world, everything from top to bottom, just so much uncertainty. And that was the only thing that I was certain about. I had been doing research on XRP for 3.5 years at that point. I knew it was a discount from where I had been buying it for 3 years. I never saw it that cheap. So I was like, I just got to do it. And I did it. And that was how that whole pandemic stuff panned out for me. And
bro, you asked, you mentioned you mentioned that you paid with a credit card. I guess I shouldn't be so shocked, but dang, I didn't know that was an option. Like I know, you transferring funds, maybe like a PayPal, like we were talking about earlier, something like that. But dang, even a credit card you can do that with.
Yeah, I didn't have any income, but I had $6,500 or $7,000 of credit line left.
Credit, right?
And so I was like,
I'm sorry. So let me ask you this. When it comes time to pay that credit card, you could use the crypto to pay the credit card that you use. Wow.
That's crazy.
One hand washes. And what's even crazier is the rewards that I've earned from staking XRP this entire time, that amount that I have bought, the rewards I've earned just from that alone are able to pay that loan back. Like or not even a loan. I say loan because Nexo, but it pays that credit line back without even like just off the appreciation of the asset. So that's pretty much the game we play. We leverage assets and find early entries, and we just keep wash, rinse, repeating, and it turns into wealth.
Right. So for somebody that's, not necessarily into taking risks, especially financially, like how would you, maybe try to get them into the investment game, the crypto game?
I like that question, as we actually had a client who they were kind of unsure about crypto, and I just told her like, well, even if you are unsure about investing in crypto, at least utilize the power of crypto. And there's a few different exchanges we use, a few different wallets where you can stake USDC, which is a digital form of the US dollar. And it's a stable coin. So it stays stable at $1. It doesn't fluctuate at all. So there's no risk on losing value on your money or anything. But the beauty in it is that we have these different platforms where we stake this USDC, and we're earning 8 to 15% APYs on it. So even if you don't want to participate in crypto, you could still use it as a savings account and outperform some of the best traditional market hedge funds in the world still.
I mean, that's pretty simple, right? Because why not? You're not losing out if it's staying at the value of the dollar.
Exactly. And then you're being rewarded in dollars. Right. So it's not even, you're not even getting crypto and reward. They're just giving you more dollars on top that is compounding on top of the amount that you had. So your rewards are only increasing every day.
Mm.
Well, well, Kawhi, you had mentioned something about your son and like I don't know if it was NFTs or metaverse, or it might be both. And I know Ray is like heavy into that. You remember that you was asking, you know, just about it more, or you were saying your son was kind of into. Maybe it was a metaverse.
No, that's a good way to transition to the next thing. But I no, my son is really like it's crypto, so it's Coinbase.
Okay.
Well, actually, a cousin of mine who's into this a little deeper kind of said, hey, if he's going to be into, because he kept saying Shiba Inu, but in order to do Shiba Inu, you have to do something like a Coinbase to be able to. Is the Coinbase the wallet? Is that how you would say that?
It's an exchange.
Okay.
It's hard because the verbiage that they use on these exchanges, there's like individual wallets inside of them. But to the newer retail investor, you're not really aware that the exchange is custodying your assets. And a lot of things we preach is to take, once you purchase the assets, then to take them off of the exchange and put them onto either a cold wallet or some sort of self-custody solution so that you can hold those actual keys to your crypto. Prime example, when the SEC brought the lawsuit on XRP and Ripple. Coinbase, it was a few other mainstream exchanges that halted trading or suspended trading until the resolution of the case. So automatically on Coinbase, they said, okay, well, you can't trade XRP here anymore. And it was on Nexo for a while and Uphold as well for a while, but a lot of them, I can't remember if Uphold did, but nonetheless, a lot of exchanges started scaling that back and allowing you to move XRP around, but you still can't do it on Coinbase. But when you have like how we do, we custody on our own wallets, we're able to get airdrops directly to us. We don't have to email the exchange 100 times and ask them to give us our funds. And because Coinbase, they're still holding people's, there's a Songbird token that was airdropped. They're still holding that. They haven't given that to people. There's like 3 or 4 more that are coming that people are going to be asking exchanges for. And a lot of people in our group are able to miss that because we made sure that they were in position on their self-custody wallet. So that's a big thing that we preach, is holding your assets and owning your assets, securing your assets, like really treating it like the Holy Grail for real.
So it's kind of like treating it like FTC insured to a degree. Not when I say insured, more or less like I'm like this. It's 250 in that case, but whatever is in your wallet, so to speak, is protected, or so to speak. So it's like protection.
Essentially, you're protected. Like if an exchange gets hacked or your phone gets SIM swapped or something like that, if you don't have the right protocol set in place, someone can get into your account and start moving your assets. The beauty with the cold wallet is that you have what's called a seed phrase, and you're the only person in the entire world who has that seed phrase. If you lose it, you'll lose your assets. But if you keep it safe, you make a copy, you keep these in somewhere, fireproof safe, something like that. You're the only person. There's no way to get hacked. You're the only person who has access to basically the password that unlocks these keys.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
we gotta keep moving.
Yeah. But look, I brought up NFTs and metaverse. NFTs seems to be the big thing right now, and I'm seeing it everywhere. And I'm not hip to it. I don't know. I've done a general, search on it and stuff like that, but I definitely don't know. I'm seeing, like musicians, artists, athletes even getting into it. So break down the NFT game and metaverse.
So, I think the best way that I could say about like the NFT space, people love to be a part of groups, exclusive groups, and people love collectibles. And people love showing off their collectibles with their exclusive groups. So that's pretty much where I guess the value is derived in the NFTs. The beauty in it is that it's so early that a lot of people are only focusing on the NFTs that you get on OpenSea, which is on the Ethereum network. We also stay away from the Ethereum network because of the gas fees. You could pay $50 to $150 just to do a transaction, like as a transaction fee, which for the average investor like us, that's just not acceptable. You can't really do much with that. If I'm paying $200, $300 for the asset and I got to pay $100 for the transaction, why not go to Cardano when I pay 50 cents or 75 cents for the transaction, and I get just as good quality of artwork, digital collectibles, however you want to refer to it as. But that's the thing, is there's so many second layers or second waves, second comings of NFT marketplaces, and eventually it'll all be interoperable, like King was saying earlier. That's the whole purpose of the entire blockchain, is to make global interoperability, be able to send money, send value, send land, send everything. You'll be able to everything's going to be tokenized. Everything's going to be on the blockchain. Everything that has any value is going to be an asset recorded in a digital database.
How do you explain the blockchain? I hear you say that. How do we explain that?
The blockchain, how I like to explain it, I would say it's like, it would be like if you were to migrate to new land, uncharted land, and let's just say you take over this landmass. I would say that new landmass that is completely untouched, uninhabited by anybody, that's the blockchain. And then everything being built on top of that land is blockchain infrastructure, whether like it's plumbing, houses, anything you can think of that's being built on top of that. It's just like IP addresses. Are you familiar with like IP protocols?
Right.
So essentially, blockchain is like the IP, and everything that's built on top of that is like layers of the internet, whether it's social media, whether it's for retail use, retail shopping, whatever it is. There's different layers of the internet that are all on top of the IP. So basically, blockchain is that it's basically a decentralized block for all of these protocols to operate on top of. If I hope that was a simplified answer.
And it was for me. It was for me. It was for me. All right, so and I gotta ask this because you mentioned it earlier, and I know, it was like the it thing. It was like the it investment. You have rappers and athletes invested thousands of dollars in, and I think your boy Meek Mill Yeah, and purchased like $50,000 worth, and that's Dogecoin. So you shaking your head. So all right, my question is this: Dogecoin, is it worth the hype? I mean, is it all that it seems like it's cracked up to be, or is it just hype?
What does it do?
It's a digital pet rock.
Right. I mean, pretty much it. I mean, look. So backstory to that. Look, Dogecoin always gets people like burned that try to ride the wave late. Like each bull run, people like FOMO in the Doge, and then like they buy the top, and then it goes down. Right. So, I mean, geez, it happens so often to where it's like you see the same song and dance type of a deal, and Dogecoin is a fork of like Bitcoin. So I mean, it's just like you can think of it like stock split, so to speak. And so with forks, if you held Bitcoin, you would have got Dogecoin if you just held Bitcoin, right? And then we could get into airdrops and stuff later. But people that held Dogecoin when it was worth nothing and it turned into like 70-something cents, they made off like a bandit.
Right.
Right. But you got to think like who's the exit liquidity for the people who had it early, the people that's buying late.
Right.
All right. So you got to think like people that's buying late, they just holding the heavy bags of somebody else that's about to unload the clip.
Right.
And dump everything.
Got you. So to address Meek buying that, like that was just hype. That's just hype.
That was full blown hype. And then you see other people, retail investors, like, look, Meek Mill just bought Dogecoin. It's the right thing to do. Like, no, the hell is not. That means to sell.
horrible decision.
I'm not listening to them about finances.
Right. What was you saying, Bray? You said something.
It was a horrible decision. It was horribly timed. It was
by him or by everyone
by
else?
Him, heavily by him. And then, of course, by everybody else. But they were just being, a lot of time retail investors get caught up in just being a part of the herd and following the herd. And that's when people get the most burnt. You think, oh man, I've seen it. I know somebody who made $100,000 off Doge. I'm about to make $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
The percentages is what tells you the truth. We don't pay attention to the dollar value. We pay attention to that percentage. And Dogecoin was up like 15,000%. It can't just keep going.
Right.
Can't just keep climbing. It's gonna come down. I'm throwing Fibonacci retracements on it, and it's just outperforming the frame that it's supposed to go in, and it just was completely irrational. And me and King did a video a few days before it crashed, and then we did a video after. And was like, hey guys, don't be so mad at us. We tried to do the preventative procedures, but at that point, everybody felt like they knew everything, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm up 800%." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's on top of that 15,000 that you keep forgetting," and just crashed all the way down. And people don't talk about crypto anymore when they were holding Doge.
No, and it was so weird because like people just tried to say like we were just down talking people like y'all are haters. Like, no, I'm giving you fundamentals. Like, I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to tell y'all what it is.
Right.
That's where I'm coming from with it. And that's what me and Ray come from. Like, look, like we've been in this for a while. So, I mean, just because the price is going up, you don't have exposure to the high volatility. So when you go up 800%, you think that's like cool. But like Ray said, we've already seen like 2,000%. Like, so it's like you already missed the wave. And then since you got in late, you're going to hold it because you believe that it's going to do the same thing for you, which is not the case.
So you just dropped a major key. And as I'm sitting here, I'm really quiet, but I'm trying to think of things that I think that's helping me and that I think other people may ask, because it's such a dense topic. So basically crypto, even with stocks, even though y'all don't rock with stocks. So essentially it's heavily based on research, right? Yeah. And so I guess you dropped the gem because you said, you don't look at the amount, look at the percentage.
Yep.
Is there like, for example, so does it go like this particular coin? Is it based on, do they project, okay, we foresee that it's going to do, that you could potentially do 5,000%. And so, you know, you get in when it's low. That's what I'm gonna call you the low man, Mr. Ray. And you get in when it's low at, you know, 2 cents. And then, you know, you kind of watching the slow progression of it. And then it goes up 100%. And then it goes up 800%. And then it goes up 3,000%. And then, it's almost near that 5,000%, the frame that you said. So is it kind of like you're watching the research to see how it's going based on the frame that is projected?
Yep. So the research aspect, that's just what gives you the confidence to go into a position, to take a position and invest in that project. Then the other half is, like you said, using that frame and mapping out where this thing is projected to go, making sure that it's staying within trend lines, making sure that it's respecting how it's at. Basically, when you're looking at charts, you're looking at previous chart history, and you're just finding things that rhyme with what's going on currently, and then you want to give it some sort of guideline and just make sure that it stays within that guideline. If it breaks out of that, then you have to reassess what's going on. And for me, a situation that's similar that I just had dealing with that was Gala. Gala Games was a coin that I had got into under a penny and recently ran up to like between 75 and 80 cents. And people were saying that a few people were asking why was I taking profits so early. I skimmed some profits at 42 cents, skimmed more profits at 55 cents, more at 63 cents, and at 72. And I have one more sell order set for 94 cents. But that's the one at 94 cents. The only reason I did that is because I had the box maxed out at 75. And the coin pumped beyond 75. So then I had to go back and reassess and say, okay, where was the most recent high from? And then go from that point and remap out a new projection on top of the old one, just to give myself a little bit more of a guideline. So it's like, yeah, you're constantly like watching, making sure that it's performing how it's supposed to. We don't really deal too much with like, I know a lot of traders, and that's the thing too, we're more of like overextended swing traders. Like that Gala trade, that took me 7 months to execute. I made 50,000 or so from it, but it was like, it didn't happen that day. I was buying it in February. Right. It just so happened to appreciate at the end of November. Right. And that's the wherewithal that people need to have when they're getting into crypto, is it might not jump, but you can't get FOMO and zigzag and chase all these projects that are already pumping. Just stay where you at. Time gonna come. You just got to be patient. Right. And it happens. I've seen it happen for myself and other community members at least 10, 15 times with different projects. It always happens. It's how crypto works because it's so early. The asset class is so early. Full global market penetration, less than 4% of the total population still. Less than 4% of the whole entire world has a crypto account. What happens when we're at 15% of the whole world having a crypto account? Right. I don't even want to talk about 50%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just
so what you're saying is as it goes up, as far as how many people are in there, that's equivalent to demand, so to speak. AKA the price is going to go up. Exactly. It's going to be harder for you to get into it.
Exactly.
Got it.
You said you've seen it happen often. What did you mean by that? You see people have FOMO and pull out early and zigzag, or you see where it takes a while for crypto, to see gains?
That
Which
part,
one were you?
Yeah,
the second part.
I apologize, okay. Yeah.
No. Because I was thinking you was maybe thinking both. People was maybe getting FOMO and trying to be everywhere else.
We used to see the FOMO zigzag early on, but our community is like so mentally strong. I don't see people. I more times than you'll see people even asking like, man, it's already up such and such percent. You think I should just wait on a retracement? You think I should wait on a pullback? Like, people are more so in that mindset of not FOMOing. Like, we have engraved in our minds, like, we're not chasing green candles. We're not trying to find or trying to chase the hype train and, and jump on the wagon. We're here early. We're going to wait for the party to show up, and then we're going to hand our bag off to somebody else at the top.
So listen, you done said a million things. So just
I'm like,
just going back, somebody said before, when everybody's doing it, you don't do it.
Yep.
Is that the same? Okay. And then you said, so explain the FOMO and zigzag. I think I understand. Zigzag sounds like you jumping from here to there out of projects.
Yeah.
What's FOMO though?
So FOMO is fear of missing out. That's what it means. So like, you see like you got a project that you've been in for probably about like 3 years, probably not even that long because you just new to it. And you see everything else popping off. You see SHIB run. Like everybody like SHIB. And you gonna dump what you've been holding for like years.
That's Shiba Inu?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought okay. So for example, you jump on, all right, good example. So my wife put 150, telling my business, but my wife put $150 in Shiba. It's not at 150. It done dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what you're saying is Shiba is gonna do what it does, sit on it. Just kind of chill.
No, not necessarily.
This comes back to that percentage talk.
Yeah, because
so basically you got to pay attention to the percentages. Has it reached this max percentage to where you should kind of like say, all right, I'm not putting no more money into this. Maybe I need to.
So let me share my screen so we can give you a visual representation of what.
Here we go. Let's get it.
Let's go.
So y'all talking about SHIB. It's SHIB. Matter of fact, we get a call on SHIB in February. Right, that's how early we got into SHIB.
Jeez. Before everybody was talking about it.
We waited for the party to show up.
And so this is on the weekly. Let me go to daily. All right, yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, so this SHIB, let me get rid of this. It's not code. Right. So you gotta think like we've been in this. Well, this doesn't even go back to when we got into SHIB, but this starts at May. All right, I told you February, and you can go look on our UDA Facebook, on the Instagram. Like we get early calls. People talking about Crow right now, Crypto.com Stadium. We get into that too. People talking about Crow, and we get a call at like 6 cents, 20 cents. It's like it went to like 70. But this is SHIB. As you can see here, like, this is when you really want to get involved. Like, yeah, swinging up and down. This is, people selling, you buy. This is what you want to buy, though, and accumulate. And then you get this. And then that. And then people hearing about, oh, I just bought, I just made 100,000 in SHIB. And then you don't know nothing. Oh, yeah, I'm about to do the same thing. You buy it, and then.
See, that's what we need, because I think this helps people to understand. So let me ask you a question. This is going back to the Meek Mill situation. That spike, that top spike, is when Meek got into
when he bought in. Is that when he bought?
Kind of like equation.
He holds some of our bags. I'll tell you that.
So let me ask you, when it goes up to that top right spike up there with the green, and then it's starting to come down, like right there. So when it's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we sitting? Are we trading? And what does that mean when you talk about trading? Like, are you holding on to it or trading? And when you trade, does that mean that that's not the same thing as cashing out? That means you're putting it into another project, or kind of explain that to us.
Yeah, so if you trade, that means like, well, I swing trade sometimes. So I got my long-term position, and swing trade, I hold a project for probably a couple months and then dump it into my long-term position. As you can see here, this is SHIB. This went up 1,000% already from where it was. As you can see. So people buying it in, you think it's gonna do another 1,000% on what top of this.
If you wait 3 years, it might.
Right, but it depends on your time horizon. So you want to go here, that's 100 and some percent out of somebody who just got it at 1,000.
Ah,
Right. And then you want 1,000.
And it's unreasonable. Like that's not even, it doesn't even make sense.
Exactly.
And now you can see like how long you got to go. All right. So that's pretty much it.
oh, okay. Yeah, because down the bottom you got the dates and everything. So you had 22, 23. Okay. And is that just like y'all anticipate? Is that what it's anticipated that it might be? Is it just like a
No,
That's that
prediction?
frame you was talking about, right?
yeah, that's just
Okay.
to give you perspective, like
Perspective? Okay.
knowing what it took for Shiv to get to this point and what it would take for it to get to what people's expectations are.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. King, thank you for showing that to us, brother.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
yeah, it definitely.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Quan, did you have some? I know you was it you wanted Ray to show you something Ray was working on. Was it the NFT?
I remember y'all said the metaverse and the NFT. I didn't jump into it for real.
Yeah.
So, and I know that's dense. So
Here we
just
go.
kind of like, I know that's super dense. So just
Right.
kind of give us like a summary, because the way I kind of understand stuff is it that anybody can create an NFT, and what is an NFT and how does that work in relation to what we've been talking about?
So NFT, non-fungible token,
Right.
it's basically, in my opinion, it's going to serve as a smart contract for any tokenizable asset. It's going to remove the middleman. For like an example, if you were to go to a closing for real estate, you can put the deed as an NFT and you can send the NFT to the new owner upon them completing it. So the smart contract would be like code, basically. If the sender sends $100,000, then the seller should send or should exchange the NFT deed or whatever. And once they send it, you would have 24 hours to then send them the deed, and then it would just be a swap, just like that. You would get your money, they would get the deed, and then the house would become theirs.
Now, is the money, is this physical money, or is this?
This would be crypto. So everything
Crypto?
would be, everything would be inside of a tokenized ledger or some sort of distributed ledger technology.
And see, let me tell you why that's you using that as an example, because I'm a property manager for condos, and so like I'm not involved in that process, but when there's a new owner, I will get the what do we call it? It's not called HUD-1 anymore. I think it's called Alta. So I would get the Alta paperwork, and it shows you like, what was paid, what was the down payment, what's being financed, all of that. So basically what you're saying is like that money exchange, so to speak, would be the NFT, so to speak.
The
property value would be as an NFT.
You would make the deed to the property an NFT. So right. Then that way you wouldn't have to be doing the whole process of rewriting all of the bill of sales and all of these things that go into the closing costs and everything that goes into the 3-week closing window and all of that stuff. That would be out of the window. You would literally just be transferring the NFT to someone in return for the funds of whatever the market value is. It should be within the 24-hour window instead of 3 to 5 weeks or however long the process is now.
That's crazy.
That's so crazy. When I see what you got going on here,
right? I was about to say, Ray. So this is what are you actually showing us right now?
So this is Metaverse. This is Pavia. This is on the Cardano network, and so basically right now it's non-functional, but this is like base layer of the internet. Before, this is like AOL basically, dial up broadband connection, and then things are going to start being built on top of it. As you can see right here, people are already selling plots of land.
Right.
So is this the blockchain? Is this an example?
Yeah, I'm about to say, is this the example of the blockchain you was talking about?
This is everything that you see on our screen is essentially on top of the blockchain.
Got it.
It's just different layers. Everything has different functionalities, different protocols. It's like you said earlier, this is just a really, really, really dense space.
Yeah, like with NFTs, people are just in it like right now because of the retail side of it, the non-fungible token side of it, because people can put the artwork up and essentially get paid for it without the middleman.
Right.
And that's a great thing. Artists can have their, they can cut out the middleman and get, more bang for their buck. But I think the bigger thing about NFTs are having like digital authentication that could something in the real world can have like validity, right? So like, trading cards, like, you got the limited edition card that's verified and is verified by the blockchain. Like, that we know that you have the limited edition one because it's on the blockchain and the blockchain can't be hacked and it's immutable. Like some people say like, well, what happens if it get hacked? It can't get hacked. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that.
Wow.
Right. So like that's the whole thing. And on top of that, like it doesn't go down, like a bank account goes down, but I don't see everybody like saying the bank is like the best thing since sliced bread. Right. So it's really like counterintuitive arguments that people make about crypto and the blockchain. Like, well, what if it go down? Well, you got bigger problems if the internet go down. You would ask about how you're gonna get heat if you don't have electricity. So
right.
Like how you gonna store your food?
Right.
So like you got to think like it's several steps to get to before you try to like dispute what's going on right before your very eyes.
Right.
So what's funny about that when you say selling the artwork? I literally had a conversation with a young lady who lives in my building, and she was saying how she uses an agent and they take 50% of the sale. So she was like, if you ever want to know why art is so high, it's because the agent is taking 50%, but that's because they've got a gallery and all of that stuff, which kind of helps them get out there.
Bruce, can I share my screen real quick, bro?
Yeah.
This is like a site, one of the sites we get some NFTs from. This might blow y'all minds. Let me go to it.
Quick question for you while you're doing it. So do NFTs, are they in relation to the meta?
Metaverse, yeah, you can have like on a video game, you can have like a non-fungible token. Just think about it. Kids are playing NBA 2K, they're buying VCs, they're buying skins, and they don't even own it, like for real. They just buying it and it's like copy and pasting, and everybody else got it. Like everybody else got the copy and paste version. But if you're buying an NFT, we know that you got that, like that jersey VC, and only 100 have been minted. And we know that you got it. And on top of that, you can like barter or trade that limited minted digital VC on 2K on the blockchain. So you can like auction it off for like $100 and some dollars or something like that. And somebody will buy it because you got the limited edition one. And they probably gonna jack the price up for $1,000. Right. And that's what kids are doing right now. They just buying like digital skins, but ain't nobody like, they're not profiting off of it. Just imagine if they own the digital rights to it. Right. And so this is where celebrities are dropping their NFTs. As you can see, Whitney Houston, I got one of these. I got some of the games. There's Chief Keef, the Glow Games. And this is built on the Tezos blockchain here. All right. So, they got all type of stuff going on with NFTs. So as you can see here, you got Whitney Houston. Like, I own some of her stuff, and I can see my NFT. Like, and nobody got a picture of her doing hair, but some people do. It's only 17 of them. Just imagine, like, you know what I'm saying? Come on now. And then you probably be able to in the future put your NFT up on your digital monitor, like just hang it up. You're like, what's that? It's NFT. Whitney Houston. Right? Like, there's only 700 of these made.
Right.
Man, this joint is so dense, bro. It's so dense.
So that's why the one that was 17 had a higher price, because it's less of them.
It's less of them, and it's like a picture of her that you never before,
never
like,
seen before
in action, like type of a deal, right? So it's like artists, they don't have to pay 50% to an agent to do all this extra crap. Like, you just slap it on the blockchain, just throw it up there.
Quan, that's crazy, bro, because the fact that you just had that conversation about the art, and he just went right to that. All right, fellas, we gonna end it on, we like to tie a lot of the stuff with sports, man, and y'all both played, and so I've been seeing a lot of crypto talk in the sports world. I saw recently OBJ is taking his entire contract this year, and it's a Bitcoin. And Ray with this facial expression. So I wanted to ask y'all about that, because I thought that was interesting that he's taking his entire salary this year in Bitcoin.
So before you say something, I'm gonna give my inexperience, just based on everything we've talked about. Given that stuff can fluctuate, it doesn't sound like that's a good idea. Right. I don't know if I'm right or I'm wrong, but we're going to let the brother Ray talk to us.
Is it a Meek Mill situation part 2?
It's similar, and it really depends on when I don't know if he's getting paid a lump sum, if he's getting paid once a month. I don't know how it works. So it really depends, because if he's getting paid once a month, and let's just say the bear market comes in, was the NFL usually in like the end of January or something? If you make the
Super Bowl is like, well, it's a week later now. So second weekend of February.
So let's say he caught the last of his salary, in the bear market, or transitioning to the bear market, and Bitcoin has fell below 30,000. It might be a solid move for him. But current prices, I don't know. Right now, it doesn't look like the best, just because there's a lot more assets that have so much more room to grow. But I think that's, and a lot of the athletes, they all have the NFTs on the Ethereum network, and they're paying $10,000 in gas fees, and they don't even realize it, because who cares? I got $100 million. So
right.
But that's a very real thing. So it's just a lot of athletes, I think, that are being they're being guided by someone who they may be like a fringe crypto type person who knows a little bit and knows a little whereabout. But yeah, if he went and got some real insight, I think he would be able to get a lot more value in getting another coin, maybe like an ISO 2021 coin, like an Algo or XRP or XLM. It's just a bunch more options that are already proven to be like government grade blockchain with instant transaction speeds and completely no type of carbon footprint. It's just a lot better options. So hopefully he gets new advice next year before he
does. Now he wasn't the first athlete to do that, right? Was he just like the biggest name?
I know that one of the and I'm not super big on football. I haven't watched any of the NFL for real since Kaepernick, but I know one of the recent quarterbacks, I think from LSU, who got drafted.
Okay.
He got a signing bonus, I believe, in Bitcoin, maybe a year or two ago.
Would that would be my man from the Bengals.
Yeah, the long hair. I don't know his name.
Oh no! Oh yeah. No. He from Clemson. Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he did.
There you go.
Yeah, with the Jaguars. Yeah, I thought you were talking about homeboy before.
Yeah, I just showed how much I don't watch football.
Yeah, and
We
I think
basketball cats anyway. So.
we basketball all day.
Sorry,
But
King.
No, I can talk football though. I think I remember Russell Okung. I think he was one of he's an offensive lineman. I think he was heavy with getting paid in Bitcoin. That and but yeah, it seems to be. Now I also want to ask you this though, because recently Tom Brady threw a 600 touchdown, and Mike Evans gave the ball away to a fan anyway. But so they wanted the ball back, so they gave the fan, I want to say, $1,000 in the Tampa Bay team store. I think he got season tickets for this year and next year. But like 2 days later, Tom Brady personally gave him a Bitcoin, gave that fan a Bitcoin. So, is that big? Is that, was that a good gesture? Is that worth what that football might have been to him if he sold it at a higher price, if he played a little hardball?
I mean, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, maybe the fans should have held out a little and negotiated a little stronger, maybe get, 10 years of season tickets, figure something out,
Hey, look, but it ain't worth that because the GOAT ain't gonna be there in 10 years.
I mean,
yeah, but he a Tampa Bay fan. You love it, like
word.
I mean, and in my eyes, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, this is just another football to me. This is just another touchdown ball.
Right.
The value of this football lies with you.
Yeah.
So that would be my bartering chip. I'm sure King got a different take on it, but for me, I would hold out, and I would try and really get as much as I possibly could for that.
Okay, so you like that one Bitcoin wasn't an even trade with the other stuff.
I mean, it's Tom Brady. I know you got a bag.
But just going back to King's wisdom, he was kind of saying, when you understand what money is, it's essentially you're talking about value. So if he, like you say, if he wanted that bad, yeah, there should have been some negotiations there. But I think the nostalgia that Tom Brady even offered something, I think is the reason why he went for it, not really thinking, like how King said, what is money?
Yeah. He probably was, caught up in super fan mode and was like, man, this is Tom Brady hitting my line. Like, of course you can have this football back.
Yeah.
Me, it would have been a tough customer. I'd be like, hey, bro, I don't know you, bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's business, man. I don't know. I need 10 Bitcoin or something, maybe 100 Ethereum. I need some numbers, man. It's Tom Brady. This is 600 touchdown.
Right.
Let's put some value on this ball, man. What you want to do? You either take the ball, or I keep the ball, turn this into NFT, and we do this the fun way. Put this out on the open market and really get paid.
Put it on the blockchain.
Might as well.
Put it on the blockchain.
Yeah, Mr. Brady, you can either come get the football like this, or you're going to have to buy it as an NFT, dog. How you going to play it?
Hey, so in that case, right? All right, so he kind of puts it on the blockchain as an NFT, and then he holds on to it until he receives his value for it. And then that's the 24 hours swapping of hands, so to speak.
So it would essentially be a smart contract inside of the marketplace.
Right.
Basically an agreement. It's like a trustless without middleman agreement. So there's no third party. This was just a peer-to-peer agreement. As you send me funds, then I'm going to send you this back in return. If I don't send it to you within 24 hours, your funds come back to you. Nobody's hurt.
Wow. So let me ask this, because we're talking about this in good ways. Couldn't this impact the black market too? Like, couldn't people doing stuff like, I'm just thinking, like, think of whatever you put on the black market. So I don't know, illegal weapons that you're not supposed to have, or just whatever that's like that, like something that's stolen, you know what I'm saying, that people can't find, and then you put it up on, like stuff like that happens all the time. And you, not that you take it to a pawn shop, but somewhere where you get your real value for stuff, like stuff you see in the movies, but you actually know there's a black market out here. Like, could that be a thing too?
I think it would be hard, because then you're coming into, it's just, I don't know if there's like, it's not really a harmful way to, like, if I bought, 10 kilos of coke on an NFT, I can't do anything. It's like a pixel. It's a JPEG. So it's just a picture. It might be straight out of his trap house, but it's not in my possession. Like, I got a picture of it. I mean, so that's as far as I could think it could go. But right. I mean, you would have to cross over into the physical. I mean, if somebody come drop off 10 bricks in the metaverse on you, and I don't know how to help you on that one. Like, they drop it on your plot of land, like, bro, that look like that's your possession, man. I don't know.
Jeez. Maybe we can cut that out.
Yeah. look. And on that note, we appreciate the honesty, though.
For real, the one thing I definitely wanted to just kind of tie this together and kind of clear the air, as we say when we summarize and do that. I think it's dope how, again, I continue to harp on it, and I think that's definitely gonna be one of our upcoming topics, is men holding relationships and fostering them. We met through sports. You're not even talking about the same sports. You're talking about a crossing of football and basketball. But D, you know how it is, because when we went to JMU, we were cool with the football team. They would come hoop with us. Yeah. And I mean, we wouldn't step in their lane.
But I know I ain't getting on the gridiron.
I will be there watching.
But it still formed the brotherhood, and this is not a racial thing, like a brotherhood or whoever. A team got black, white, Spanish, whatever. So I think just hearing you guys talk about, how you linked up, and after all of these years, it's even more personal for D and I, because we met at college, playing ball, and we did a podcast some weeks ago. We went back to our alma mater. We played ball again. You know what I'm saying? And so you're talking about 15, 16 years later, and here it is. You guys formed this. We formed the podcast. So I think it's important to really kind of hone as men, like, to have meaningful relationships, not the relationships that cause harm, or, we've been on the block for 15, 16 years, or we've been doing cruddy stuff for this time, but stuff that is really leaving a legacy, like which is a lot of what we're talking about with clearing the air. That's what we want to do. So we want to have these conversations that really kind of push the envelope and advancing us as men. Advancing us, because men, we are a community as well as leaders. So I just think that means a lot, man. And for us to hear you guys doing that, it's kind of like you got pockets of brothers who are doing that, and we just hope that continues to be the case all over the country, all over the world. So I mean, I guess lastly, as we clear the air, we've talked about NFTs, we've talked about crypto, we've talked about blockchains, FOMO, Zigzag,
Dogecoin,
the people who got in and got burnt. We talked about ways you could do things. What is money? Like, all those things are important questions, because the world is actually changing into things that we wouldn't imagine it would when we were kids. So, it is kind of one of those things, we talk about how our grandparents, they didn't adapt to technology, but if we're not careful, we will be guilty of doing the same thing, and it will be to our detriment. So, man, we really just wanted to just take this time to really thank you guys for coming out to us. Please, 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 and please, D, we gotta have them share their information with us. So
yeah, man, I was about to say, please let us know where we can find y'all. Give us, websites. I know you got a Facebook group, any social media, please put that out there right now. And then we'll have it also at the end of this show, brother.
Cool. So I appreciate y'all having us first and foremost.
Of course.
I completely agree with that sentiment. I think that it's major to having this opportunity to network with other like-minded brothers who are, like you said, I feel like we're all on like it's almost like a great awakening. And I think that's the biggest point that I've preached for digital assets and the whole relativeness for, this is like a fourth industrial revolution. This is an opportunity that our ancestors would have killed for. And and this is kind of like, that's what I told a lot of my friends, like, man, you got ancestors that are really looking down on you. They mad that they see you looking at your phone or, twerk videos all day. And it's real stuff happening on here.
Yeah,
like it's real, it's real money. Like I sit with my son all day and I'm on my phone making things happen. Like you don't have to get caught into, the face version of this. So I think it's nice to really network, like I said, with like-minded brothers who are on a similar mission, similar path. Anybody that's looking to join us on this similar path, you can find us on Urban Digital Assets on Facebook, YouTube. We also have Instagram as well, urban_digital_assets. But yeah, and we, like I said, it's fully organic. The community, you could join tomorrow, you could join today. As soon as you hop in, you ask a question, somebody in our community is going to give you a positive response. And we do a really good job of making sure that there's not, we've had, of course, like any community, you have people that come in and they're toxic and they, they're spewing hate everywhere. We make sure we weed that out. We don't make, newcomers feel bad for any questions they ask. We really have like a platform where we meet everybody's needs, whether you're a beginner or you're fully advanced. And, there's space for everybody. Like we said a million times, this space is so dense. It's impossible for everybody to be on the same level. And that's the beauty of our community is we give this foundation to everybody who comes in, and they branch out and they find their own way and they find their own selves within this lane. And then they bring it back to the community and we keep eating and keep growing. It's so much land in this blockchain, in this crypto space for us. So having 200, what we call them action takers, having 200 action takers that are every day pounding the payment and going in these different blockchain networks. And we're finding all of this information that, that is it. The top 1% of the world is even paying it. The top 0.01% of the world is even paying attention to. So it's a really unique opportunity. Really hope that, you guys are going to join and really get in tune with it. Cause this is a beautiful opportunity for our people, man. Like that's the biggest thing about the Urban Digital Assets for us was literally, we started this just to bring this notice to our people. Like I said, man, this is an opportunity I know for a fact my ancestors would have literally killed for. So I'm taking full advantage. I'm trying to eat as hard as possible and make sure everybody around me do the same.
Right. When you say the ancestors, it just make me think of the digital 40 acres and a mule.
That's how I feel. When I'm getting airdrops, I'm like, this reparations for my people for real. Like, because it's real money that they dropping. Like it's crypto coins, but there's value connected to those coins that they just say, here you go.
Right.
So,
But look, man, we appreciate it, brother. Shout out to King. Has some technical difficulties, but we thank him for his insight. That's my dude out there in Northwestern Chicago. Coach Burkett, thank you, my brother, for reaching out and setting everything up. Jimmy, pleasure to meet you, my brother. Thank you for checking in the chat. I want to shout out my homegirl, Jen, who set this up. Shout out to her. Super dope peoples, man. And our brother, Ray Ruski. Over in the UK, man. I don't know if y'all realize it's like
+5 over there.
Yeah, +5 over there, man. And so he held it down for the team. And we appreciate you, my brother. And we will be looking into that and joining. And we're gonna be in that group, man, because we definitely want to get more involved there. I know I do. I can speak for myself. I know I do.
I got a lot of questions. It's too
yeah.
dense. But this last question. So we're talking about this community. Is this community on, like, how do you access this community?
So our main hub of our most like the biggest portion of our community is on our Facebook page, which is Urban Digital Assets.
Okay.
There's going to be a prompt to join, and we take it serious. Like I said, we're looking at everybody who's trying to join. If the big red flag is if people aren't answering the questions to enter in, if you're just I just want to join and get some free info, that's not what we're doing here. This is a community we're building. So there's legitimate questions that we're asking people to make sure that it's the right fit for them to join our community. We're keeping it as positive as possible, and not, like I said, we're just creating a bunch of action takers, and we're trying to cover every possible angle of the crypto space and really make sure we're all in position. So check it out on Facebook. We get it active.
There it is, bro. There it is, bro.
Well, listen, y'all, this is how we wanted to start off 2022. We wanted to make sure that, we started this one off with a bang. We got season 2 is coming up. So again, we want to thank UDA is what I call them, for being not only our first group, but being our first episode of 2022. So listen, y'all, we coming with it, season 2. We got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to clear the air on. Again, we just hope that you subscribe to that Clearing the Air podcast YouTube channel. Subscribe to their YouTube channel as well. We're going to make sure that you see it somewhere down there so you can click on it. And listen, as we clear the air, we want to say Happy New Year to you guys. We just hope, much success to everybody. Men, we got some work to do.
Let's clear the air, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Ruski, that's it, brother. Holla at your boy. Peace.
Later.